Hello, everybody. Wolfang here. Today's Friday, March 21st, second day of spring. How we all doing today? Good, I hope. It was a nice day here in Cincinnati. It was freaking cold this morning, though. I think we got up to low 54, maybe 53, 54. Turned out to be a nice day. Wasn't so nice at work. I really wish I could say how I feel, even to the person's face, but that would get me fired. So I just bite my tongue and keep on moving. Try to think happy thoughts. So I was gonna. So Trump put out the deal about the Department of Education and how he's what he's doing is just taking bullshit, made up names for an office or whatever. They're weeding out the waste of the money. And you got the media and everybody on the other side. They're up in arms. Oh, he's going to start firing teachers, and he's hurting the children so bad. No, for 45 years, there's been presidents trying to do this. Reagan did. There's a video, you can pull it up. Presidents that wanted to, how would I type it in? Get rid of Department of Education. Apparently, the Department of Education was pretty new when Reagan was running for president or became president. But there's a speech that he gives talking about just education of our children. How many other presidents talked about it's for the children? And our children have gotten dumber. I hate to say it. I really do. I had a hard time going through school, but I found out later on down the line that I'm dyslexic. And that's why I had a fucking hard time back in elementary and junior high. I had to go to summer school for reading. But anyway, I typed in how many presidents wanted to get rid of the DOE. I think I put it like that. But a video came up of Reagan, and then most of it is there was a 9-minute read article of Trump talking about the whole thing. But my point is if you listen to the media and the people on the other side, they're just making it sound like he's tearing the shit up. He's not doing that. God, you'd think, trying to save some money, people would be happy. Anyway, so I found a different article to share, and it's about Trump. It says Trump to pay NASA astronauts Trump to pay NASA astronauts out of his own pocket after disgraceful overtime salary. And I made this comment to my wife. Those astronauts were only supposed to be up there for 8 days. President Donald Trump has vowed to pay the stranded NASA astronauts out of his own pocket after they received staggeringly low overtime pay. Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore splashed down off the Gulf of Florida on Tuesday aboard a SpaceX Dragon capsule after spending 286 days on the International Space Station. They had been stranded in orbit after the Boeing jet they arrived on developed several malfunctions. Despite being cut off from their friends and families for months without access to showers or laundry service, Williams and Wilmore received the same $5 daily stipend, what? 1,430 for the whole trip, afforded to government employees taking business trips. What? That makes no sense. Speaking from the Oval Office on Friday, President Trump was stunned to discover how little Sonny and Butch had been paid for their ordeal. Merlin's saying hello to somebody, it sounds like. Squirrel. Anyway, nobody has ever mentioned this to me, he stated. If I have to, I'll pay that out of my own pocket. I like that. What? Okay. Is that all? That's not a lot for all they had to go through. Exactly. The astronauts boarded the Starliner in June last year for what was meant to be an 8-day mission to the space station, but the return date was repeatedly pushed back after the shuttle's thrusters encountered problems. For 9 months, the astronauts orbited the Earth every 90 minutes with their transport, board, and lodging covered. In addition, they received a daily incidentals allowance, a standard perk for U.S. government employees instead of travel compensation. Now, when I was in the service, they called it hazardous duty pay. According to the U.S. General Service Administration, the $5 daily allowance was intended to cover tips for porters, bag carriers, and hotel staff. No way. While in space, NASA astronauts are on official travel orders as federal employees. Jimmy Russell, a spokesman for the agency's Space Operations Mission Directorate, said, during the mission, Williams set a new record for the most spacewalking hours by a woman, logging 62 hours and 6 minutes over 9 spacewalks, surpassing the previous record of 60 hours and 21 minutes. After spending so much time in a weightless environment, the astronauts had to be helped into stretchers when they returned to Earth. The astronauts left for space in June last year when they participated in the first crewed test flight of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. However, the capsule encountered technical problems, making the return journey too risky for the astronauts. NASA, we have a problem. Although Starliner returned safely to Earth in early September, Wilmore and Williams needed a new flight home. NASA arranged for the next scheduled flight, a SpaceX capsule that arrived at the International Space Station in late September. The flight, which typically carries 4 astronauts, had only 2 on board, leaving seats for the 2 to return. However, as the mission was planned for 6 months, it extended the stuck astronauts to stay in space. So there you go. I think most of, I don't know, people that are interested in space and flight and everything, I find it really interesting that we can shoot people up there. That's pretty cool. I'd like to try it. Put it on my bucket list. That'll never happen. But I even said this to my wife. I said, wow, I wonder if these guys are going to get paid decent. I mean, I would think they make halfway decent money. They're smart people, you know. I definitely couldn't do the math problems they know. But hell yeah, they shouldn't have to worry about a damn thing. That's just my opinion. Going up for 8 days and they're stuck for what, 2, 3 months? And why didn't Biden just, why? I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting story, and we'll see if anything else comes out of it. Would Trump really pay him? I don't know. He just might turn around just despite all these haters that are hating on him. So you know what? I can do this. Here you go. Anyway, this is Wolfgang. I hope everybody has a great Friday and a great weekend. Blessed be, stay safe, and I will bullshit with y'all later. Bye.